In the headlines, Dominica and China signed $120 million aid agreement. ROSEAU envisioned as climate-resilient smart city model for Caribbean, and Prime Minister Skerrit says China has made no undue demands on Dominica. Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Prisca Julien. Stay tuned for details of the headline stories and others coming up. Welcome back. On Monday morning, the government of Dominica officially signed an agreement for economic and technical cooperation with the People's Republic of China. The agreement will allow for the provision of grant funds from the government of the People's Republic of China to the government of Dominica. The funds will be used for financing of development projects in various sectors and will finance post-Maria recovery ventures. The nation's leader, Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, says some of this money will go towards constructing the agricultural complex, which in turn will build Dominica's agricultural sector and, by extension, Dominica's economy.
This 120 million EC dollars will be used, some of it will be used to construct the agricultural complex in Portsmouth, which will bring to Dominica a new thinking in agriculture, or more technologically based agriculture, which at the end of the day will increase production and productivity on the farms, and thereby increasing the investment returns for farmers, and increasing our possibility and opportunities for gaining more foreign exchange for agricultural produce.
Another major area to be addressed through this funding is that of the construction and rehabilitation of school buildings. These schools will be built in the model of the Newtown Primary School, which was constructed by the People's Republic of China. The Prime Minister hopes for a transfer of technological skills used in the construction from the People's Republic of China to Dominica.
We shall be employing the same architectural design and engineering in the design and construction of these new schools, so that we know that if there's a hurricane, the next day our students can go back to school because their school plans will not have been impacted. And therefore we'll be constructing a new Goodwill Secondary School, a new Thibault Primary School, Calibishi Primary School, Bellevue Chopin extension, because we're now going to have a few hundreds of people moving to Bellevue Chopin in one of the most expansive, well, it's like a hotel up there, really. It's not a house, I think. 5-star hotel development at Bellevue Chopin, to cater for the students from Petite Savane who will be moving to Bellevue Chopin. The Tetmon Primary School and the Sineku Primary School. So these schools will be financed with funds from the government of China.
In addition to the agriculture and education sectors to benefit from this funding, there will also be major developments for Dominica's health sector. Chinese ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Liu Kong, says the People's Republic of China is pleased to be able to assist in Dominica's recovery efforts through these funds.
The Chinese government will provide the Dominican government with a grant aid in the amount of 300 million RMB. That is about 120 million EC through signing of this agreement. It's not only a reflection of the valuable China-Dominican friendship, but also a symbol of China's quick and strong support to the recovery and the rebuilding efforts of Dominica after the ravages of Hurricane Maria.
The ambassador says the Chinese government feels empathy for Dominica's plight coming from Hurricane Maria and is invested in Dominica's rebuilding efforts.
Last year, this beautiful island suffered the most devastating and catastrophic hurricane in history, by which public infrastructure was severely impacted and many citizens were displaced. The Chinese government and the people feel strong empathy for what Dominicans have experienced and support Dominica's post-hurricane reconstruction in a comprehensive manner.
The Prime Minister's carried in gratitude acknowledged that there are many other states or projects which China could have directed these funds to, but instead chose Dominica. For this commitment, he thanked the People's Republic of China.
I first want, on behalf of the government and people of Dominica, to express our profound gratitude and thanks to the government and people of the People's Republic of China for this very generous contribution to our country's development. 120 million dollars is a lot of money. And I've always maintained that China itself has many challenges. And this 300 million RMB could have been used in many towns and villages in China. But China has a greater recognition of its responsibility to advancing the development of many states. And so we're very grateful to China for this contribution.
The signing ceremony took place at the conference room of the Ministry of Finance at the Financial Center. The main city of Dominica, ROSEAU, is envisaged to be the model climate resilient smart city for the Caribbean. Those are the plans of the Labour Party administration shared by the Honourable Member of Parliament for the ROSEAU Central Constituency, Joseph Isaac. Addressing a ceremony on Saturday, the parliamentary representative elaborated on government's vision for ROSEAU.
This administration has a vision for ROSEAU. It's a vision which involves the focusing on the ROSEAU city as a climate resilient smart city for the Caribbean, a leading one for the Caribbean. This vision includes, but is not limited to, the completion of river walls in ROSEAU, which has already started. This is to protect us from the risk of flooding.
Honourable Isaac gave further details, saying a road reinstatement project is part of fulfilling that image. According to Honourable Isaac, by the end of the year, much progress and the completion of some parts of that project should be expected.
It also involves something we term the ROSEAU Road Reinstatement Project, which involves the running of utility lines underground in key main streets and side lanes. The development of the sidewalk of the side lanes. This there is earmarked. The government has already negotiated with some of the private sector companies to ensure the implementation before the end of the year.
In related news, government, as part of its plan to develop and enhance the look of the town of ROSEAU, will focus on the development of the ROSEAU market. This announcement came from the Honourable Minister for Planning, Miriam Blanchard, who addressed the opening ceremony of Market Day for Difference on behalf of the Honourable Minister for Trade, Ian Douglas.
The activities that we undertake at the ROSEAU market contribute in large measure to the health of the population. One of the elements of the ROSEAU Enhancement Project, as we heard from Honourable Isaac, which aimed at transforming ROSEAU into a climate-resilient city, will also focus on this market. In this regard, the Ministry of Trade, Energy and Employment is putting measures in place to enhance the retailing environment of the market.
Honourable Blanchard says the project to upgrade the market facilities will include additional room and upgraded decor for facilitating the market's activities.
This will include the construction of a first floor where local artists can display their works and where cultural performances can be held. This improvement in both appearance and decor of our market will elevate the tradition of shopping for our locally grown fruits, vegetables, meats, and other produce, and ensure a uniquely pleasant experience while serving as a focal point for our citizens to meet weekly and exchange pleasantries.
Market Day with a Difference was held on Saturday, 27th October, a day after Dominica's National Creole Day, and is observed primarily to highlight the hard work of the farmers and vendors and their contribution towards the national development effort. The event was hosted by the Dominica Export-Import Agency, DEXIA. Honorable Blanchard took the opportunity on behalf of the Minister of Trade to thank the farmers and vendors for their contributions to food security and sustenance of the ROSEAU market.
Today, when I take a look at the displays of fruits and vegetables, I am encouraged and I wish to thank our hard-working farmers and vendors for contributing to the noble task of feeding our people and for your contribution to nation building in such a short space of time. I submit that the time that we have arrived, and we should consider giving some recognition to a farmer or a subset of farmers who have been consistent suppliers of good quality produce to our vendors who make a living plying the trade. After all, without the farmers, there would be no market.
The minister went on to pledge support of the Ministry of Trade to DEXIA and the ROSEAU Market Authority. The government of Dominica, since Hurricane Maria, has made available over $300,000 for restoring the ROSEAU market.
As we celebrate our independence and reunion Market Day with a Difference 2018, I wish to take this opportunity to pledge the support of the ministry for the work of DEXIA and the ROSEAU Market Authority. We will endeavor to do everything possible to upgrade the retailing environment and to facilitate business at the market.
The events of Market Day with a Difference, as is customary, included highlighting a number of farmers and vendors for their contribution towards the development of the ROSEAU market over the years. The awards covered a wide range of activities and operations at the market, including the youngest and oldest vendors, best dressed vendors, best decorated stalls or booth, best assortment of vegetables or produce, best butcher, among other awards. The event was attended by the President, His Excellency Charles Savre and Mrs. Savre, and members of Cabinet and other government officials. You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. The Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Resilience, Disaster Management and Urban Renewal, Joseph Isaac, on Saturday made a passionate call to Dominicans to take seriously the cleanliness of Dominica. The minister, who is also the parliamentary representative for the ROSEAU Central constituency, was speaking at the annual Market Day with a Difference at the ROSEAU Market. He shared that he believes the cleanliness of Dominica should at this time be a focus of every citizen, especially in the main towns of ROSEAU and Portsmouth.
As the minister responsible for urban renewal, I think that the time has come where everyone, the cabinet already has given it full support, the leadership of the country, there's the president and the prime minister have given it full support in regards to an approach for cleanliness of this country. It is time, all of us, not those only using the ROSEAU market, but everyone in ROSEAU City and the wider Dominica, including Portsmouth as an urban center. We need to focus on the issue of cleanliness, and we cannot allow anyone to be litter in our country, our city, and our towns. I'm taking this thing passionately.
Also calling on the police to put politics aside, the Honorable Minister expressed that more force needs to be put into ensuring littering is seen as a serious offense as a means of curbing the issue.
I have first-hand experience of where our own citizens are littering our country. Our own citizens are doing things which are not the best approach to ensuring that the environment is kept safe and clean. The police need to play their part. So I'm calling on the Commissioner of Police. Forget politics, forget it.
For the building of Dominica as a climate-resilient nation, Honorable Isaac says cleanliness is an integral factor.
If we could do only one thing after the recovery process, after Hurricane Maria and Tropical Storm Erika, is to ensure that our country is clean for our sake, not just for tourists. So I think anyone who is listening to me here this morning, or on our airwaves, or overseas, who plan to visit, remember, Dominica is poised to become the first climate resilient country in CARICOM and the world. So starting with this, we need to be a clean country.
Dominica's Prime Minister has spoken against the suggestion that Dominica is or will be subject to unjustifiable demands from the People's Republic of China. The Prime Minister was addressing the signing ceremony for a $120 million agreement between Dominica and China and defended the long-standing friendship of the two governments. Dominica and China established diplomatic relations in March 2004 under the Labour Party administration led by Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. Since establishing that relationship, Dominica has benefited substantially, and Dominica's leader is assuring the nation that this assistance has not come at a cost for Dominica. In fact, the Prime Minister expressed China has only assisted Dominica's development.
China has not made any undue demands on Dominica. China has not sought to, as some others have done, impose its will on Dominica. What China has been doing is every step of the way assisting this country with economic and social and economic development. And every sphere of society and every single citizen of our country has benefited from the benevolence of the Chinese people. And I believe that we have a duty and an obligation as a people to show our gratefulness for this.
The Prime Minister says Dominica will indeed maintain its relationship with China and provide support when necessary and possible from Dominica for situations such as natural disasters and support for international candidacy. Honorable Skerrit expressed disapproval for the practice creating false impressions of the Dominica-China friendship from those with malicious intent.
Sometimes in our society, we cause ourselves to tag on to unnecessary discussions. And so now there is the talk about countries should not engage China, countries should not enter into loan agreements with China because China is trying to dominate the world and China is trying to advance its influence on the Caribbean. And some of us in our country, we propagate this foolishness. We propagate it because we believe that it might be serving our purpose. I can say to you, as the Prime Minister of this country and one who would have had the most direct contact with China, that there is really nothing that Dominica has to give to China, besides its friendship and its solidarity when it requires that solidarity.
In this year alone, the People's Republic of China has assisted Dominica with an impressive number of undertakings, purely from benevolence. Chinese ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Lu Con, highlighted some of these.
This year, we handed over the York Valley Bridge 3 months ago, which passes the test of Hurricane Maria with no damage. We finished the roof restoration project with the UNDP, the Chinese Agriculture and medical experts are on the island helping local people. And the Chinese hospital Peace Ark visited the Dominica to provide free medical care for more than 5,000 local people. The West Coast Road Rehabilitation Project has been resumed 2 months ago.
The Prime Minister and the Chinese ambassador were both addressing the signing ceremony of a $120 million agreement where Dominica will benefit from China for its rebuilding process, an agreement which Ambassador Lu Con says symbolizes the firm support of the People's Republic of China to Dominica.
Today, we signed a new aid agreement to provide more support to our Dominican friends, which will open a new page for China-Dominican friendship and cooperation. This agreement demonstrates China's firm support to the social and economic development of Dominica.
Prime Minister Skerrit told the ambassador on behalf of the People's Republic of China that the Chinese government can always rely on Dominica's support. This continued support, the nation's leader says, is a matter of principle, not for the gain of tangible benefits.
That with myself as Prime Minister of this country, you can always sleep comfortably, knowing that I do not play games. What I say to you in the privacy of our discussions, that's what I say publicly, in respect to my adherence and respect for the One China policy. Because for me, it is not about the tangible benefits which we welcome, but about a matter of principle. And I do not play games on these matters. So I want to say to you, rest assured of this, and we'll continue to work together to strengthen our bilateral relations, but also in furtherance of working together.
And finally, this news time, Sunday evening, the curtains came down on Dominica's annual World Creole Music Festival held at the Winter Park Sports Stadium. Patrons enjoyed 3 nights of thrilling music performances from local and international bands from Friday 26 to 28 October. Launched to promote the Dominican tourism product and create a world-class platform for indigenous Dominican music, the World Creole Music Festival has become a renowned staple on the regional music gala calendar. This festival is organized by the Dominica Festivals Committee. The festival has given special focus to musical genres with roots in various forms of musical fusion from various countries from the Creole-speaking world. GIS News will bring you more on the event from the organizers. In the meantime, here are some of the highlights of the 3 nights.
Hey! No time for dum bum. Woman can dum bum. Hey! Forget your dum bum. No time for dum bum. No time for dum bum. Woman can dum bum. Oh yeah, nah. Shit, I might love you want. Shit, I might
You can't tell me this, Dominica, me no run away. That's all they find out. This year, me I make them what I got. So,
Peter, à ce petit Dougan, moi toujours pensé, des fois ça vous doit se battre. Papi t'en prie, moi connais ou pas d'emblée souffrir, pas qu'à personne d'hiver, c'est l'hiver qui tout dans son dos.
we rise,
la planète est accompagnée, ce n'est pas moi, ce n'est pas mamie, ce n'est pas yo, yo va parler à l'eau, yo va casser mes notes. Are you ready? Ready, ready. Are you ready? Ready, ready.
Sexy, can you move my way? When you
And that's news. As we continue with Dominica's Creole and Independence season, here is your Dominica fact. The music of Dominica is infused with a variety of genres that are commonly heard in many places around the world. A lot of Dominica's music is derived from African and European elements. The drums, influenced by West African traditions, drums, known as tabou in Creole, are the most popular of the musical instruments used in the production of traditional music in Dominica. There are different types of tabou used depending on the genre and style. Tabou Trave, small barrel-frame drum headed with goat skin or cord with an attached bead, is placed on the drum skin to add a buzzing quality to the sound, normally used to demonstrate a song narrative connected to work in some way. The Tabou Belay, an eponymous drum played bare-handed and commonly made of a hollowed tree trunk covered at one mouth by goat skin stretched with rope and pegs. This drum, also known as a Tabou Belay, accompanies belay, a traditional folk dance. The tabou lele, strapped across the shoulder and played with 2 sticks. This cylindrical drum is small and wooden with goat skin at one end, usually placed during Chante Mass, a masquerade song performed during carnival season. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS on facebook.com/GIS News Dominica and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Prisca Julien. Thanks for watching.